The Isdal Woman, Anatomy of a Ghost, a Dark Welcome. Dear gentle listeners, some secrets don't go to the grave. Some build that grave themselves, brick by brick, with their own hands. On that misty November morning in 1970, in the most desolate and eerie valley of Norway, this mysterious woman was found, leaving behind not a single name, not a single relative, nor a single concrete trace. The labels on her expensive clothes had been cut away with surgical precision, her passports turned to ash, and most horrifyingly, her face was burned until it was completely unrecognizable. Was she merely a victim, or the world's best-kept espionage secret hidden in the deepest corridors of the Cold War? Today, we are going to take that knot, kept like a state secret for half a century, down from the dusty shelves of Sherlocked Street and unravel it together. Welcome to the dark valley where identity is erased and truth is frozen. Don't go anywhere, because every second, every silence in this story hides a vital clue. The terrible morning in Death Valley, November the 29th, 1970. The slopes of Mount Ulriken near the city of Bergen were colder than usual that morning. The region, which locals called Isdalen, meaning Death Valley, was known for its steep cliffs and impassable terrain. A father and his two young daughters, while hiking, noticed a strange dark shape wedged between the rocks. As they drew closer, what they saw was not the remains of a campfire. It was the charred body of a woman, kneeling, with her hands stretched forward as if trying to protect something. Detectives who arrived at the scene encountered a sight unlike anything they had ever seen. The area around the woman resembled a ritual site. Surrounding her was a half-empty bottle of cheap liquor, two plastic bottles smelling of gasoline, a silver spoon, and scraps of burnt paper. The autopsy report increased the horror even further. The woman had been set on fire while she was still alive. There was soot in her lungs. However, in her stomach, exactly 50 sleeping pills were found waiting to dissolve. Her killers hadn't waited for her to die. They chose to burn her alive to ensure their mission was complete. Part 2. Remains of an Erased Past. As the investigation deepened, the clothing, the only concrete data in the hands of the police, turned into a major disappointment. All brand names and manufacturing labels on the woman's coat, shoes, and even her underwear had been cut off. This was no ordinary murder. It was an identity erasure operation. When the police reached luggage locker number 9 at the Bergen railway station, the incident evolved into a spy movie. 2 suitcases full of belongings were found. Inside were exactly 9 different forged passports, the kind of wigs used on professional theater stages, notes written in different languages, and glasses with no fingerprints left on them. The labels on the clothes inside the suitcases had also been destroyed, just like the body left in the valley. Only one clue remained: a silver spoon. The family crest on the spoon was a glimmer of hope, but that light would soon fade, because that crest did not match any of the fake names the woman had used. Part 3. The Chameleon's European Journey. When the police managed to crack an encrypted notebook found in the suitcases, it was revealed how the woman had spent her last few months. 022N12M R10B20S. These complex codes were actually a travel itinerary. The woman had moved like a shadow between capitals like Paris, London, Rome, Berlin, and Brussels. At every hotel, she had presented a different passport. In one, she was a Belgian antique dealer. In another, a German nurse. In yet another, a wealthy businesswoman. Witnesses described her as very beautiful, distant, and at the same time, anxious. One waiter noticed that she constantly looked at the door while eating and placed even the salt shaker on the table at a specific angle. The most interesting statement came from a hotel employee in Bergen. The woman had looked at a man speaking German at the next table, smiled, and whispered, "I am a ghost myself, traveling the world." Part 4. Missiles at the heart of the Cold War. Why would a woman come to this remote corner of Norway with such immense secrecy? The answer lay in the geopolitical tensions of the time. The 1970s were the peak years of spy wars. Right near the Isdal Valley, there was a secret project that Norway and NATO were working on, the Penguin missile systems. By a strange coincidence, the dates the woman was seen in Bergen perfectly matched the dates the missile tests were conducted. A local fisherman claimed that a few days before the incident, he saw the woman on the shore, looking towards where the missiles were launched with a strange device in her hand. Beside her were two tall men in black coats, following her almost like guards or an execution squad. When the fisherman approached them, the men moved away sternly, and the woman looked at him as if making a silent cry for help. Was this woman a Soviet agent chasing the missiles, or was she silenced by a Western operation that caught her? Part 5. The Secret in the Teeth and DNA Analysis. The case was closed in 1971 as a suicide, and the file was put on the dusty shelves. But the facts refused to stay underground. In 2016, Norwegian researchers reopened the grave. Advanced isotope analysis performed on the woman's teeth finally whispered where she was from. The minerals in her dental enamel proved that this mysterious woman had spent her childhood in the Alsace region on the border of France and Germany. This region was a place that had changed hands many times throughout wars, steeped in stories of espionage and resistance. The woman was likely swept up in the chaos of World War II, learned languages, and was trained as a sleeper cell by an intelligence organization. Her DNA said she came from the heart of Europe, but it did not match any identity records, because she was a ghost, completely erased from the system. Part 6. Suspects and Conspiracy Theories. Even today, unanswered questions hang in the air. If this was a suicide, why would someone cut the labels off their own clothes and climb into a valley with 50 pills in their stomach? Why would they set up such a professional mechanism to burn themselves? On the other hand, if this was a murder, why did they leave the body in such a visible place? Some experts believe the Isdal woman was accidentally targeted by the Israeli Secret Service Mossad during a Nazi hunt. Others argue she was a mole who had infiltrated the Norwegian state and was destroyed by her own side when she was exposed. The theory that the burnt papers at the scene were actually a top-secret code table, and that the woman destroyed them right before she died to protect someone, remains one of the strongest possibilities. Part 7. The Gravestone of a Ghost. The Isdal woman lies under an unmarked stone in a pauper's grave. When the Norwegian police buried her, they gave her coffin a number and simply wrote "Unknown" on it. She left behind thousands of conspiracy theories, encrypted notes and wigs, but what she truly left was that chilling lesson on how easily a person can be erased from the world. We at Sherlocked Street believe that truths never die. They only wait for the right key. And you, our dear listeners, do you think this woman was a hunter chasing missiles or a victim lost in the labyrinth? If her grave could speak today, which country's anthem would she hum to us? Don't forget to share your theories and ideas about those encrypted codes in the comments. Until we meet in the next dark file, close your windows tight and do not be afraid of the dark, for the truth is hidden only there. Sherlock Street has presented